Hello and welcome to the Hypnosis Academy. Today I'm talking about my friend John. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So what do I mean, my friend John? And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but it's such an important concept that I would like to talk about it again, even if I haven't talked about it in the first place. In therapy, as you get older, like what I am, you have a lot of life experience. You've heard a lot of stories, you have lived a lot of things, and you've worked with a lot of people. And what happens is this: you end up with this bank, this battery of loads and loads and loads of important things to say to people about certain things. Yeah. And how you choose to say them to people is very important. And how you choose to say them typically is via third person. And I'll explain what I mean. The idea of my friend John is this: even though something happened to you, a story that you think would be terribly valuable for your client, you don't say that it's your story. You say that you've got a friend. Yeah. And even better, a friend of a friend. Okay. Why? So for example, let's say that, something happened to you and you learned a big lesson from it. And so in therapy, you say, your situation reminds me of a story that a friend told me. It wasn't actually him, it was a friend of his. He had the same experience, and let me tell you what he did to make that a better experience. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? What's the science behind this? And, not the science that they talk about in the world, trust the science. No, the actual, what's going on inside of people's minds? Well, I'm going to give you anecdotal observations that I've made. For example, I don't know if you've seen this happen. You can tell somebody something that is, from your book, true, that has lots of information to back it up, and that could actually do them some good. It can actually save their life, for example. And so you tell them, and some of you might resonate with this over the last 3 years, you tell them something, and they say, nah, no. Okay? And you tell them again, and they go, no. That's just stupid, that's ridiculous, that's unbelievable. Okay? And it seems as though no amount of times, we talk about the power of 3, you can tell them 300 times, they don't care. Not listening to you. Okay? And then what happens is this: they come in one day and they say, this is a true story, by the way, do you know what? I was standing in the post office waiting in the queue, and do you know what? This bloke said to me, A, B, C, D, E, which is what you've been saying for 3 years, A, B, C, D, E. And they say, and he said A, B, C, D, E, and I thought, well, blow me. Goodness, I never realised that. And do you know what? It made absolute sense, and I thought, yeah, yes. And you're sitting there listening to that thinking, that's exactly what I've been telling you for 3 years. Why has it taken some unknown, somebody who you don't know, you don't know who he is, he could be a mass murderer, he could be a maniac, and yet because he's standing in the queue with you in the post office, you believe him? What's happening there? What's that about? Well, that's the my friend John syndrome. All right. What happens is this: when your mum says to you, you're a good-looking boy, or you're so gorgeous, yeah, you're a beautiful girl, what do? As an adult, you say, well, you're just my mum, so you're going to say that, aren't you? And so what happens is we disqualify people who are close to us, we often disqualify what they say. Yeah, your wife tells you, you know, that you're a lovely person, and you go, yeah, you're just saying that because you're my wife. Or your husband says, oh, you're so gorgeous, and you go, yeah, because you know, I know, because you love me. And then some random person says, oh, you're a really nice person. Oh, somebody thinks I'm a really nice person. And suddenly your whole attitude changes to yourself. Or somebody, man tells you you're beautiful, and you go, oh, that's lovely, that's lovely. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The people who are invested in you have much less influence on one level, okay? Especially when it comes to giving advice about how you should live your life. That's why in therapy, you should never say, well, you know what happened to me? Look, you can do it, and I do it sometimes. I talk about but I don't do that until quite a way in, when I've got a lot of trust built up with the client, right? And then I feel that maybe what they'll take my experience and actually take it. But at the beginning, no. At the beginning, I have friends of all names. I don't always name them, but often I'll say, hey, you know what? I've got this friend, and his sister. Right? Sometimes I'll just, and now sometimes I'll just say my friend, and this is what happened to him, or a friend, and this is what happened to her. But it just seems more powerful if you say, well, I've got this friend, his sister, right? Because that's how it works. That's how it works. Well, the bloke down the road said to me that his son went there, and then suddenly it's like a fact in people's minds. Yeah, because I know. I mean, for those who remember, as if we ever could forget, what happened through the 3 years, I had lots of people telling me that they knew that what was happening was true because their friend at work had a friend who it had happened to, and that for them was absolute truth. So it's very powerful. Third person. Don't get caught up in thinking, well, if I tell them about me and my experience, then they'll think that that's very important because I'm a therapist and I should know. Maybe later on, but not all of the time. Even with the people who I have a good working relationship with, as a therapist client, most times I'll use third person. Just seems to be, we just like it. We just like it because that means somebody's not invested. And if they're going to give me good advice and it doesn't affect them, maybe I should listen. Yeah. So that's how we do it. I suppose in the way that we can manipulate people, that's done a lot. To do that in a lot of ways, giving third-party information, friend of a friend. Somebody once said to me, I don't have friends. I just have friends of friends. Yeah. So, there we are. Use it. Use it. It's a brilliant tool. Okay? My friend John. I love you all. See you all later.